Well, good morning, everyone. How are you? And once again, welcome to another live this morning. Nice to have you on with us. And as we'll say hello to a few friends before we get started. And as per usual, when we're doing our live, who's number one? Mike, Michael from Norland. How are you? And Andrea and Eric. And Sandy, Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Nice to have you on with us, guys. Fran from Orangeville. And Sean, how are you, buddy? Madeleine, Kippawa, Quebec. Kevin, Oshawa. Hope you had a good birthday, Kev. Rita, Wasaga. And Kristen, Saskatchewan. Jeanette from Kapuskasing. Wendy from Markham. Nick from our staff. Good morning to you. Georgie, Halifax, Nova Scotia. Donna, how are you from Park Hill? And Bonnie, nice to have you on from Little Britain. Grace, Kathy, and Helga, how are you? Barbara, and Francis Marie. All these faithful, you guys are great. Dave, how are you from Ridgeway? Donna, Bell Valley. Did I say hello to you already? Chantal Sudbury, bonjour. Cheryl, West Virginia. Maria, Ottawa. Donna, Newfoundland. Mara, Windsor. Yeah, Kevin said it was a great day. Guys, it's if your birthday, let me know ahead of time. Lori Lee, Frida, and Patricia. Another Donna. Hi, Donna. Brahim, where were you? Nativity. And Francis, how are you? Maria. Okay, a couple more, guys. We got to get our questions. Beverly, New Brunswick. Debbie, North Bay. Marilyn, good morning. Patricia, good morning to you. And Mary, New Brunswick. There's Doc McEwen. Long time no talk. Let's talk soon, Doc. Shirley, Gary, and Jude from Troy, New York. Lorraine, how are you? Margie, Kansas. And Karen, Peterborough. And who is that there? Bonnie, I think. And Carrie. Hi, Carrie. And Vera, Newfoundland. Okay, here we go, guys. Let's get to our questions. And thanks for coming on. We appreciate it big time. Here are the questions. John wants to give me my views on the awful disease, motor neuron disease. Yeah, no fun. No fun. Here, John, look, I mean, usually I thought that this is... people who get a motor neuron are even very similar, like ALS and, Parkinson's and these, sometimes it starts with just, I remember seeing a case, this is years ago, seeing a case of motor neuron disease, and it started, the patient told me it started with just a foot drop. They tripped. And they realized that, geez, like my foot has dropped. They actually call it a foot drop. And it all started with that. And then, getting investigated, and they found out that he had motor neuron disease. Look, the way I look at it, John, okay, and I look at Parkinson's like this, I look at ALS. Why are we seeing more of this? Maybe I don't know about motor neuron, but we certainly see a lot more ALS, a lot more Parkinson's. I think there's a couple of things going on. I think it's, they're the canary in the coal mine, first of all. Leaky gut, fungus, I believe, carrying heavy metals in the body, up to the brain, up into the nervous system. I really believe it's toxic. How did they get it? Well, some form of leaky gut. Could be antibiotics, could be recurring use of non-steroidal anti-inflammatories. It could be, all the chemicals that we're surrounded by, that it disrupts the microbiome. All the sugar we eat, it disrupts the microbiome. It can cause leaky gut or aggravate leaky gut. I think it's like a perfect storm of that. Okay, John? So thanks for the question. I mean, what do you do about it? Well, look, once it's been diagnosed, it's not easy. Okay? Like I would go after the leaky gut, try and heal that as quickly as possible. Bone broth, probiotics, reset for the diet. Make sure your liver is clean, to do a detoxification, trying to augment your sleep, because we know that the brain detoxes, the self-cleaning oven of the brain, and the nervous system does that at night. It detoxes itself. I would be, really looking at a nerve vitamin, which is B12, vitamin D for everything, and all of the above. High DHA for the brain to regenerate. Okay. Thanks for the question, John. Annette, what to do for burning feet in the evening? Well, first of all, Annette, why? I'm a why guy. Why would you get burning feet in the evening? Okay? If it doesn't bother you during the day, I don't know. If I could ask you a few questions, that's what I would ask you. Whenever I saw burning feet, okay, and that's literally what look, it could be your spine. Although if it's only in the evening, unless you've been on your feet all day, I would look sometimes to the spine, impingement, and nerve impingement. Burning could be a sign of diabetic, of early diabetes. Okay? And where you're starting to get neuropathy. And neuropathy might start even before you get the nerve pain and perhaps numbness, you get burning. So it depends on that. There could be several things causing it, but I would get to the bottom of it. Again, if it's only at night, could be something different, but if it don't bother you while you're sleeping, I doubt if it's any kind of diabetes. Because diabetes, it'll bother you pretty well, and you might not be diagnosed, but that's where it's. I've seen that where neuropathy was the first thing before a patient became a diabetic. Remember, diabetes is the last thing that happens. Okay, good question. Thank you for the question. Deborah, she likes cinnamon. Well, do I like it? I like cinnamon. Okay? If we can ever get our insulin balance back, anyway. We had cinnamon in it. I like cinnamon. It helps. I've been preaching that for 40 years, using cinnamon and as a sweetener. Okay? It's good for you. Absolutely. I had it in one of my formulas for insulin. So yeah, I agree with it, Deb. Are there any side effects? Nah, not really. I don't know of any side effects. I like cinnamon. Okay? So for you that, I don't know what it tastes like in coffee. I used to have patients that did it, the little bit of cinnamon. I don't know. I like my coffee black. I don't like it. I don't let anybody touch my coffee with anything. Okay. Dr. Martin, what are your thoughts on Laura? That was Deborah. Annette was before, in case, I did mention their name. Laura's asking about spirulina. Well, you know what? I'll tell you something. I went through, this is spirulina. Around the year 2000, I had a radio show. Everybody and their dog was asking me about spirulina because it got big. It hit the hit parade. And what did I think of it? I liked it. I liked spirulina. Okay? It elevates your nitric oxide and all this. I'll tell you what's better than spirulina. Nabitol, pine bark. Okay? Now spirulina, I like it. You like spirulina? So do I. Here's me. Okay? Here's the way I operate in this little brain of mine. Good, better, best. So if you're taking spirulina, there's something better, in my opinion. But I like it. Patient want to take spirulina? I used to encourage it. Go for it. But for me, clinically, I like pine bark better than spirulina. Antioxidant, elevated nitric oxide, excellent. Okay? Not against it. That's for sure. Here's another one comparison. How does Dr. Martin compare castor oil to oil of oregano for respiratory infections? Not close, in my opinion. I like castor oil. Again, I do. Okay? Here's the problem I had with castor oil. Okay? Like if you want to put a compress of castor oil in a respiratory infection, for example, on the chest wall, I got no problem with it. You want to do it on your abdomen? I used to have patients that did that, put a compress, liked it. But when you compare it to my little puppy, oil of oregano, no, I'm sorry. I think you know what I think of oil of oregano. There's nothing better because it's antiviral, antibacterial, antifungal, and it's not going to give you, like, one thing I know about castor oil, it can give you digestive symptoms, bloating and diarrhea. I have had people get side effects from it. Look, it's very safe, okay? So, but you can, I just found people didn't do as well. I like oil of oregano. Again, good, better, best. The best is oil of oregano. You want to give me a nature's antibiotic? Oil of oregano is nothing like it. And it's been compared to many, many things. And oil of oregano always comes up on top. And can you imagine something that only targets your bad guys? It don't target your good guys. It targets your bad guys. Even viruses. Tony Jr. and I were talking about it the other day. First sign of a cold or whatever, boy, do the oil of oregano hammer, man. Okay? Respiratory. Oil of oregano. And by the way, one of the big things in lungs, do the vitamin D hammer. Been proven. Do the hammer. Okay? And it's really, really important. And that's taking a lot of vitamin D, for example, and a lot of oil of oregano for a few days. Like, I mean, you don't do it. You don't do it for 10 days. But did I tell you? I think I did. I told you about a small study that was done with bacterial pneumonia using vitamin D and high doses of it for 7 days. And these results were incredible. It got published. Now, did anybody do it? No, they don't do it. Nobody got the memo. But it was 50,000 IUs of vitamin D for 7 days. Unreal. The results on it. But, that kind of research gets, because it's not a pharmaceutical. And people are scared. But I love oil of oregano Castor oil, I like it. My dad used to have tricks with castor oil. I like it. With compresses, I like it. Oil of oregano, just in my opinion, is superior to it. Okay? But I like it. Again, it's not stuff that I don't like. Cynthia, my niece has POTS. Well, POTS is a disorder. It's tuberculosis that gets into the spine. And you want antibacterial. You want oil of oregano. You want vitamin D. Big time. Get that immune system firing on all cylinders. I would have them on a high DHA and very anti-inflammatory, high curcumin. Big time. Okay? But that's what it is. Okay, now, let's see. That was Cynthia. And what would cause head tremors? Well, I think we talked about it. Neurological head. Usually, I would aim back at the gut. There's usually heavy metals involved, but heavy metals don't get into the brain without a carrier, and they need yeast to carry. So I go back right to the root cause. I look at a fungal, the invasion of the Trojan horse. Fungus gets into the bloodstream through leaky gut. So I'd be, all of the above, like I talked to you about oil of oregano to kill candida, probiotics, a broad spectrum probiotic kills candida. But tremors are, look, it doesn't necessarily have to be advanced, but it's some form of neurological. And so that's the way I look at it. B12, they're usually low in B12 in a tremor. Not only that, but I would look at that too. Okay, that was Ann. Cynthia asked about POTS. Ann asked about head tremors. Gordon. We were watching a podcast from Brian Ardis, Dr. Brian Ardis, on the subject of nicotine gum and patches. Well, I haven't seen it. Are you recommending, Gordon, that I watch it? I don't have really too much of a comment. I don't know what he said the benefits were. Look, nicotine patches, it's not like I haven't seen them or heard about them. I never thought of it as being therapeutic. And the reason I say that is because patients often, not always, develop side effects of nicotine and the nicotine patches. And their blood, some of my patients, I remember, had high blood pressure and developed high blood pressure and anxiety, and that kind of thing can be a side effect. Now, what are the benefits? I'd like to know. Hey, I'll look it up. First of all, I never heard of this guy. And maybe he has some research that I haven't heard of the benefits other than people were putting them on when they were trying to quit smoking, right? Obviously. And a lot of people at the end of the day, it helped, but a lot of them had side effects from it. So I have to look at it, okay? I plead ignorance. And it's the first time I've seen this. So, Gordon, I'll have to look it up. Okay? But I promise you I will. Sandra, what would you recommend for first stage pulmonary fibrosis? Well, again, pulmonary fibrosis can be caused, obviously smoking, probably the number one cause. Viral could be a cause of it. Fibrosis is, there's like a scar tissue in the lungs. And if it's at its first stage, like I would do, one of the best things I found for lungs is quercetin. Okay, I always loved quercetin. And again, I'm a lungs, vitamin D. Check the levels out of vitamin D. They're often deficient. Anything you can to lubricate, kill the fungus that probably is in there. There's probably yeast coming out the wazoo. So I go after that. I would treat it probably different. Like with fibrosis, they usually give them a steroid or puffers or, you know what I mean? That kind of thing. Natural, I love quercetin. I combined it oftentimes with Navitol in lung conditions, and people did really, really well with that. Okay, thank you. And that was Sandra. Somebody else was asking about lungs, I think. Anyway, maybe not. Claudette, can electrolytes help with heart palpitations? If you put salt in my water, will it deplete my salt in my body? No. Electrolytes can help because, listen, a lot of people drink water, and water is great, by the way. You know what I think of it, vitamin W. People are so stinking dehydrated. They walk around and they don't have enough water, and your body is like planet Earth. 75% of it is water. And your body's 75% water, and you got blood vessels, 60,000 miles of them. You need to pour water in there, okay? Now, do I like electrolytes? Yes. First of all, when you drink mineral water, spring water, that's electrolytes. Now, some people, if you're on any medication, you're probably dehydrated. And you need electrolytes, okay? And they become popular, like electrolyte. A good electrolyte to start with is use a Himalayan salt or a Celtic salt. They've got 84 minerals in there. And that's electrolytes. Now you can get different electrolyte drinks, to add to your water. Some people really thrive with that. And heart palpitations, you always have to look at magnesium. Often a shortage there. I talked a little while back about AFib, which is like an arrhythmia in the heart. And oftentimes they're missing electrolytes. But if you take salt, what your body will hold on to salt if you're a sugarholic. Okay? And often giving you edema. So don't blame salt for what sugar does. Okay? That'll affect your kidneys more than anything else. So to add some electrolytes, I like electrolytes. I do. Okay? Like I said, that's why people ask me all the time, Doc, what is the best water you can drink? Well, the best water is spring water. It is. And you don't have to go out and buy, alkaline water and smart water and spend more money. I don't recommend that. Add a little salt and you're getting smart water. Okay? Thanks for the questions, Claudette. Yeah, if you're getting heart palpitations, well, look, I'm not telling you it's only it could be. It certainly could be. Terry, on day 37 of the reset. Good for you, Terry. Okay? I have plantar fasciitis that came out of nowhere. Wondering what the cause of this. Well, let me say this, Terry. I've had people put itis at the end of anything. Bursitis, plantar fasciitis, itis. Okay? Itis means inflammation. And the reset really helps with inflammation. Okay? And arthritis, right? That's inflammation. That's what it means. That's what that itis is. So when you have plantar fasciitis, your plantar fascia are inflamed, and it ain't no fun under the sun. But the reset usually helps with that. People remember now, tens of thousands of people have done the reset. Tens of thousands. And with great results. And one of the things that goes down is inflammation. So Terry, you got plantar fasciitis. It wasn't from the reset. It was coincidental. And what do you do about that? Well, really, I would be very high curcumin, lower your inflammation big time. Okay? Because plantar fasciitis ain't no fun. It ain't no fun. But like I said, Terry, it didn't come out because of that. That's coincidental. That's usually the opposite. Doreen, can you talk about excessive sweating in the late 20s for a man? Well, look, some, what do they call that? Hydro? I can't even remember the last. I'm having a brain cramp. Look, I seen it a lot. It doesn't have to be men. It doesn't have to be men. Some people, they have that condition. Some of them get Botox. I don't recommend that. I really don't. I never seen it last. The treatment last. Anybody tells you they got a cure for excessive sweating? I haven't seen it in 50 years. I haven't seen it. But maybe some people can say, oh, I did this, or I did that, or I did this, and I did that. I just never seen a cure for excessive sweating. I used to measure hormones in my office, okay? Sometimes with perimenopausal, that could be an issue. Hot, sweating, the thyroid was messed up, But I never saw any cure to it, if it was a condition. And in the men, I saw it. I saw it a fair amount of times over the years. And, it's very frustrating for those people. Their hands are sweaty usually, and they're, but I don't know. I never could find a cure for it. If you hear, I know there's a few medications that they sometimes give. And Botox treatment, I've seen that given, never worked for long. Oh, it's working, and then it wasn't anymore. I don't know. Never found anything that was, hey guys, that's all the questions. I think. Did I miss any? I just looked to make sure I didn't miss anything. Because sometimes people say, Doc, you missed me. No, I think I got it. I think I got every one of them. Okay. So, don't be shy. Send your questions in. Okay? Listen to our podcast. The Doctor is in podcast. Okay? We want you to enjoy those podcasts and tell your friends on their smart device. They can download it. Wherever they listen to podcasts. The Doctor is in podcast, okay? You can share this with your friends, by the way, okay? And I know you guys do. Fantastic. And if you're not a member of the private Facebook group, hey, join our group. It's great. People love it. 22,000 members already, okay? Join us. Okay, we love you. Talk to you soon.